we go. Welcome back to another episode of Comeback Kings.
I'm having
Episode
deja vu.
49. Deja vuing. But
we good now. We good. Baby.
checking in.
Yeah.
Ryan Wilk, Alex Coop.
You know what it is.
Little bit of new blood. My man Jameson in the mix over here.
What's up?
Checking
going
in.
down?
Episode 49 already up for hot debate. Who is it?
What? Who was the guy again?
Ron Guidry or Ron Gidroy? I don't know
Is it
exactly
Guidry,
how to say his
Gidroy,
name.
Guidry?
I think
Ron
it's Guidry.
Ron Guidry, Louisiana Lightning. Ron Guidry.
Does anybody know the origin of the nickname?
He's from Louisiana,
He went to Louisiana,
and I'm sure
Lafayette.
he threw hard, so that might be where the Lightning's
Yeah.
from.
So he's the guy.
The pictures of this dude look like he could be a guy in the movie Dazed and Confused.
Let me ask you this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see that.
Where is
Yeah.
he?
He was
Okay.
McConaughey's double.
What's the realm? Are we talking 70s, 80s, 60s?
I think his
Who is
career
this guy?
started in 74, if I'm not mistaken.
We're
Mid to
talking
late
70s,
70s to
so-
late 80s, yeah.
We're
He's
talking
like
70s.
rounding out his career as my cognitive brain functions are beginning in my life. So I never saw the guy play, but I'm giving props to his professional resume. But I still think we're going to end up giving the award to somebody else, maybe a little more local.
Chris Sale.
Chris Sale, that's Jameson's
That
man.
is my boy.
Why?
So baseball's my favorite sport. And I'm left-handed, so I respect good lefty pitching, and I followed him since he was on the White Sox, and he's just dominant. The sweeping slider, the velocity, he's always gotten it done.
He made a lot of money in Boston, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yo, speaking of deja vu, I don't mean to cut you off. I just got a glimpse of me and this kid playing the softball league together. This
Yeah.
kid is the Babe Ruth of the softball league, bro. Just dinging.
He's nice like
away.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, nice
man.
like that.
I'm all right, yeah. I'm
No.
pretty good.
Okay, hold up. Back up all
We
the
gotta
way
put his
up.
history on there. We gotta throw
Oh,
his,
man.
his
For
baseball
everybody,
acumen.
for everybody listening, for the fans, the millions of fans around the world, tell them who you are, baby. Let them know.
Jameson Couch, 36 years old,
Where you from?
from
Where'd you grow up? Let people know where you grew up.
born in Providence. Wow. Mostly grew up in Edgewood,
Yeah.
in Cranston.
What's going on with you right now, baby?
Have my own house in Warwick. 10 years, over 10 years now, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
You look like a young man.
I know.
Wow.
Healthy living, I don't know.
What do you do for a living, man?
Deliver mail for the good old United States Postal Service
How long you been doing that?
since December 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, so
You
long
like
time.
it? You don't like it?
I love it actually. It's,
Really?
it's good for me.
You have like a permanent route, or
So I have what it's called a T6 tour. So I do a different route every week. So I have 5 different routes. So for every carrier that has their own route, there's some that, and they all need a day off.
Boom.
For all those 5 carriers that have their own route, you need one guy to
you come in
carry
and
those
rotate?
5 days when they're off, and that's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan.
So he's the sixth man of the mail service.
Yeah, kind of in
So
a way.
Is he Lou
Yeah.
Williams? Is he
Bring in
Jamal
the
Crawford? Is he-
lefty. Do you deliver your mail lefty?
Fair question. I don't, because during training I asked if I could, and they said no. Like, this is how you're supposed to train. And then one of my other trainers on the side quietly told me, he's like, after this, if you want to deliver left-handed, you can. So there have been days I've done both, but I usually just do right-handed because it's just what I'm accustomed to.
Real quick, give me a crazy story delivering mail. Like, dog ever chased you, something like that, something crazy. Anything crazy ever happened to you?
I'm trying to think of a recent one.
No. That's been a common theme.
All right. This is the first one that came to mind. I'm not going to give out the address of the house,
Of
but
course not. Go ahead, do your dance.
there was this issue where the mailbox was on the house. It's a fenced-in yard. They have 3 dogs. 2 of them are cool. One of them's an Australian Shepherd that will legit try to kill
It
you.
will eat you alive.
It wants your blood. And one time I was delivering, and it's an older lady that owns these dogs, happened to be letting the dogs out right as I'm delivering the mail.
Of course
and the
she-
dog
of course
sees
she
me,
is.
and I see like the upper gum line of this dog's teeth, like
He's hungry.
wanting a piece.
Yeah.
And I bolt and I close the gate right on the dog's head and like avoid him by like millimeters. And then I'm like, you got to put your mailbox on the outside of this fence.
Is that what you said to her, or no?
I said that to her, and she's like, and she didn't know what to do. She was all like, she was apologizing, all this stuff. And then a week later, mailbox was on with
At least she was kind of cool about it.
she was just like the whole process just like stunned her. She was just like crap. I mean, she had to understand her dog is like an asshole, but maybe she didn't. But yeah, then that mailbox was on the edge of the fence, and now I can I feel safe delivering to that house now. But actually, I just remembered another one with an invisible fence with the same thing, mailbox on the house, and that dog would like the first time tried to chase me. I like ran into the street to avoid it, like, and just got off the invisible fence. So like for a while, I was just delivering, and I would just look for the dog.
So what do you do if there's no way you can deliver the mail?
Oh, you skip
because
it.
of something like that.
You hold it and
They
try
just
to
have
deliver it the
deal
next
with it.
day. Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
All bets are off.
Yeah, so anytime I would see the dog, which wasn't often, I wouldn't deliver it. So I didn't see the dog. I go to deliver it. This dog got smart. This dog starts hiding under the stairs, and I'm like, this motherfucker.
Yo, dog, man.
And it almost got me. I had to run into the street again. Luckily, this is like a side street. If this was like, you know, Broad Street or wherever, Park Ave, wherever, like Main Street, that's an issue. Like I might get hit by a car, but like, and I'm not looking to see if there's cars coming.
You're
I'm
just
trying
running
not
away
get,
from the
trying
dog.
not get bit by a dog.
Boom.
And this one's like German Shepherd, so it's like it's 100
It's
pounds.
ready to
It's
eat.
yeah.
Wow.
And I love the breed, but that one wants my life. Yeah. So yeah, so they had to move a mailbox to the end of the street, and all is well. But I'm not. But I'm not on that route anymore, so it doesn't even matter.
Speaking of dogs, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, same old, same
We
old.
got DMX over here.
Yeah, yeah. I took
Where my dog's at?
right here. I took my guys on a walk to this pond in Seekonk, something with a G. I forget what it's called, but
Yeah.
it was nice.
How you doing,
But
man? What do
now
you do?
I'm tired from that. I think it probably like ended up being like a 5-mile walk or something
wow.
like that. Yeah, I got way out in the woods,
Decent walk,
off
yeah.
the trail, and I was like,
Oh wow.
I got to the point where like I'm looking at like the thing where it loops around, and I finally got to like a clearing, and I was like, I think I got longer to go to make the loop than to just turn around. You know what I mean? And like miraculously, I came across an off leash dog, like a family that was hiking too. You know what I mean? And I just took that as a sign because one of my youngest guys super reactive, so I was like, all right, I'm going back the
keep
other
it
way.
moving,
You know?
yeah.
So it was just, I don't know, a sign from the universe to be like, nah, man, time to turn
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Because I might have been pushing the sun setting on me. So
Wow.
I don't know. Other than that, though, man, you know how I keep. I work all the time.
How'd you make it here today, man? I heard you was like
No, I just had
running on fumes. Just saying.
I turned 40 on the 9th. I'm embracing my old manness. I couldn't get out of bed. You know, I had to roll myself out and get it going.
I'm trying to remember 40 myself.
Put a cup of coffee on and you know, rub some dirt in it.
That's it.
Is that what it's
Yeah.
like?
Yeah.
That's what it becomes?
What
I'm
are you
trying to
doing? What
think-
are you doing, man?
I'm trying to think. I had this old man moment. I was like, oh, here it is. Here it is. 2 days into 40, but I can't remember what it is right now. So
What
we'll
are you
have to keep
doing? What are you doing? I heard they're trying to recruit you other places again.
it. Yeah, I got a country club opportunity on the mix, but it's gonna come with working 6 days a week. So I don't know. I'm only signing up to do it for 11 weeks, and then I'm like in the club. You know what I mean? So it's like I
Yeah,
can
you
work
gotta
whenever.
talk to him, man.
Sounds
So-
like a 10-day contract.
He
I don't
does
know.
it. Yeah, that's what it is.
You gotta-
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's just another chance to spread the
Get some
network.
bread.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean. It's from this. You know, let's look at my journey where I was like the main guy making all the decisions. You know what I mean, doing the thing, and now I'm just kind of like a renegade. Couple days at each spot all around. I'm not involved in any of the drama.
You're like a draft
I'm not
pick.
involved in any. Yeah, I'm doing what he does. Man. I'm the Lou Williams.
You just drive like you're a
Just-
journeyman.
yeah.
Do you miss
Nah,
it?
not just a journeyman, just hopping around. And no, I don't miss it because I'm not.
You're a free agent.
I'm not involved in any of the drama. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not at
Come
any
in,
of the places long enough to
do
either
your
be
job,
liked or disliked.
And go home.
And I have high standards for myself. So it's like my ears aren't burning when I leave. I leave the place better than I left it every time I come in.
Boom. I can't
And-
hate on you at all, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. How you kind of set that up that way. That's dope.
I mean,
Cats is calling you.
If you look to what I was up to when we first met to where I am now, bro, I'm blessed, man. You know what I mean? Like, people say I work all the time, but I've also like embraced my financial awareness and trying to invest and get that early retirement going. So that's why I be working so hard.
So here's the thing. We have a discussion. Is it Chris Sale?
Chris Sale.
And who's the guy you're saying?
Chris Sale, Tim Wakefield, and Ron Guidry.
So we're gonna eliminate the Guidry cat. All right, can we agree on that?
If we're going on terms where you never actually watched him play and you're just using,
because he might be the most accomplished of the three.
yeah, he definitely. If we're just giving it up based on merits, he probably is the most accomplished.
You gotta give it to that guy.
Yeah.
But we don't do things like that around here. I'm gonna say it's between Sale and Wakefield. What are you guys gonna say though? Who's what?
I mean, Sale's got 2 chips with the Red Sox. How many does Wakefield have? How long does he have? One from 4-7, and does he have the one after?
I'm trying to think if he has one from 2007. I don't think.
Let me ask you this: if you were walking through Boston right now, and you said Chris Sale or Tim Wakefield, who do you think a lot of the Boston Cats are rocking with?
They're gonna say Tim Wakefield.
Especially with what just happened with Tim Wakefield, I think they're probably going to say Tim Wakefield.
He did pass away recently.
And the way that Boston fans are, like Chris Sale, you got your 2 chips, and it's not good enough. You know what I mean? Like, they're always going to throw dirt on Sale for being hurt and all that when they shouldn't. But it's a tough choice between the 2 of them, honestly.
So we're gonna go with Wakefield.
I think for right now we should go with Tim Wakefield.
We're gonna go with Wakefield. Cause
I'll swallow my pride on this.
Let's see if Chris Sale's currently wearing 49 for the Braves.
But while he's doing that, what we talking about? We're gonna do UFC.
Yes, let's get some UFC 300 in.
UFC 300 because that went down this weekend.
Yes,
we're definitely gonna do some NBA playoffs. There's some couple games.
Yeah,
tonight,
we got some playing games tonight.
Playing games tonight
and tomorrow.
And then we're gonna round it off. I know you guys are getting sick of us talking about the draft, but we got to talk about the draft because I feel like every day the draft is like
we got to touch
changing.
on it.
We'll touch on it. We'll end off with the
we haven't been blessed with a guest with as much information on this
in
the past as Jameson.
I'm loving
so we gotta
this.
Get looped
I'm loving
in.
this.
Yeah.
So, did we come to the conclusion? We going with Wakefield?
Going with Wakefield.
Let's go with Wakefield.
We're throwing knuckleballs all day.
Chris Sale's my boy, but I gotta swallow my pride. Go Tim Wakefield.
Listen, Chris Sale's number 52.
Good. So it's definitely Tim Wakefield.
So in a few episodes, we can come back and talk about that.
Yeah.
So we're going to save Sale for 52. But wait, is Ray Lewis 52? Is he 52 or 53?
He's 52.
He's 52.
Because when you start getting in the 50s, now you're talking linebackers and...
I don't want to get on Ray Lewis's bad side, so we all know what can happen there, allegedly.
We're going to go with episode 49... Tim Wakefield. Come back, Kings. We're going to take a quick break, or what I say, slide to the glide, and we'll be back on the other side.
Nice.
Let's talk some UFC 300. I mean,
I'm with it.
For me personally, that was an amazing card top to bottom with the amount of champions.
Top to bottom?
The first fight on the card was Cody Garbrandt, Deiveson Figueiredo. Cody Garbrandt is an ex-UFC champ, and Deiveson Figueiredo is an ex-flyweight champion. So we had an ex-flyweight champion against an ex-bantamweight champ. And
was there girls on this card?
Yes. We had three girls fights.
Okay, go ahead.
But this was the first fight to start off. Usually the first fight on a UFC card is like, and I'm a hardcore follower. I follow a lot of it.
Boom.
It takes me. I usually don't know who they are, like, first couple fights in.
The first fights are free, though, right? You can watch those kind of free. Yeah. And then at some point, it takes a turn where you got to tune in or start paying. Like, how does that work?
So, usually on big cards, the final 5 fights are under a pay-per-view window.
That's the big boy joints.
Yeah, and that's the big ones.
Okay.
Usually, it depends. It can always vary how many fights, but usually 12, 13, 14 fights. So, they'll have the first 7, 8. Yeah, there's a lot of fights. Yeah, starts at like 6 p.m., goes to like 1 a.m. It's a long card.
I've never been to one, but it's got to be the best live event to go to.
I've only been to one. It was a Bellator one at Mohegan Sun.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Really?
I saw Big Country Roy Nelson against Mirko Cro Cop, the
Wow.
guy who head kicks people into death.
How far away? I feel like there's something that you got to be a little bit close up, though. No?
They got the jumbotrons to help you out.
Yeah.
No, I'll say this. Our original seats were good. They weren't great.
Yeah.
Although one of the prelim fights, I still remember this. It was a Brazilian dude. He fought for 3 rounds and lost by decision. He didn't throw one punch. All he did was kick.
Wow.
All he did was throw kicks.
And he got away with that?
I mean, he didn't get knocked out, and he actually it was pretty technical. It was pretty clean. But he like lost a decision. And then I didn't realize we were sitting right next to his crowd. So he came up in the stands and just talking to everyone. And then I said, "What's up? Good fight, man." And he was
dope.
just like, "Oh, respect
That's
that.
dope.
Thanks for coming out." And,
That's dope.
And then but eventually we did move down, and the main event fight was Paul Daly versus now in the UFC Michael Venom Page, who was just
Okay.
on the card on the UFC 299 card. So
All right, so what'd you see? Let's go to
that
the
was
main,
an experience, great.
The
experience.
main bouts from Saturday.
All right, so we gotta start with the one everybody's talking about.
The
We gotta
Gaethje
start
fight.
Gaethje,
You gotta
Max
start
Holloway.
there.
We gotta start there.
Boom.
Before the fight, I had Justin Gaethje winning that fight. I just thought power, leg kicks, he would neutralize him.
Okay.
He would get him on the back foot a bit, chew up the leg, so he'd be limping. The footwork wouldn't be as clean.
Boom.
But
It felt like nothing went his way.
Max Holloway came out guns a-blazing.
He looked like a scientist in there, man.
He clipped him in good spots, fought smart, was in the pocket, out of the pocket, and then the turning point, or at least the first big shot, was with 1 second left at the end of the first round.
That's crazy
spin-
for a turning point to be in the first round.
Spinning sidekick broke his nose in a million ways.
He
And,
was leaking.
yeah.
For what you're just saying though, with the crafty, smart element of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to land that right there at
Yeah.
that. Was he thinking, this round's over, we're going to our corners? Like,
Yeah. I'm gonna say this
a
again.
lot of fighters think that way too.
And I know I said this. With that kick at the end of the round, do you think he was did the bell ring, or do you think it was late, early?
I think worst case scenario is simultaneous, so
Yeah.
there was not dirty. I thought there was 1 second left when he started the kick, because it takes like
Okay.
nothing's like takes 1/100th of a second. Like it takes time to like set it up and throw
I
it.
think that's
so.
what matters. Is
Yeah.
when the motion was initiated.
Exactly.
So.
So I thought it was clean, and Max Holloway throughout his whole career has been nothing but a consummate pro.
He's a gentleman.
Absolutely.
Because every round when they come out, he puts the glove out
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yo,
Absolutely.
not too many of these cats do that.
Some do, some don't. Yeah, it
Yeah.
depends. Yeah.
Like, he's one of those cats.
Very
He's
respectful.
always like, okay, I respect you. You respect me. I like that.
Because you got to think of it at the end of the day. We're fighting
Yeah.
to see who gets knocked out first most of the time, or see who gets submitted. Like
So
you're
go ahead. What else did you see, baby?
So I also want to talk main event, Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill coming off of a torn Achilles.
That fight was trash.
No way.
I
No
was
way.
way down.
No way.
That was absolute dumpster fire. I was disgusted.
So explain why it was trash, and then I'll explain why you were wrong.
Look, here's what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say, I always say this. That guy looked like he was scared of this other guy. He just did. He looked shook of him. He was overdoing it. He seemed like he was overdoing it. And then it just looked like a deer in headlights, and he caught him so quickly, and the fight's over.
So real quick,
Go ahead.
right before the knockout, if you
Yeah.
remember, Jamal Hill accidentally hit him in the nuts.
Oh, okay.
And Herb Dean was coming over, and Alex just pushed him away. He's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then 5 seconds later,
Caught him
left
with,
hook
one piece.
knocks him out cold, and he's just like looking into the freaking abyss, like what just happened to me?
If you're Dana White, you're cool with that?
Oh yeah, What do you don't want decision wins? You want knockouts.
Yeah, but you still want a fight in the middle. that fight was over.
I think that's why they got 11 fights on the card. You know, some of them
Yeah.
are going to end like that. You
But
know,
this, here's my
there's a
argument with
few
the,
Mike Tyson fights that went like
Yeah.
15
and,
seconds. You know,
and I'm
like-
gonna say this as a Tyson guy, I didn't like that.
yeah, I mean, people
I
used to
didn't
get
want to.
mad
I didn't
paying
want to
for
be
the.
like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, we're gonna go get some popcorn out the microwave. By the time you come back, fight's over.
Well, in
Go ahead.
Mike
do you
Tyson
think
would say,
it's-
"You don't know my struggle."
Let me hear something.
I mean,
really.
Mike Tyson did it in like 15, 20 seconds. At least he was respectful enough to wait 2 minutes before he knocked him out. But no, that's just how he is, though. Like, and Jamal Hill, a lot of people are trying to tell him like you should try to wrestle him, grapple him, and he's in his 9 UFC fights, 0 takedown attempts. That's not his style of fight. Like,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you're just gonna lose to a better fighter, and that left hook is lethal. It's one of the scariest things I've ever seen. It's taken out a lot of great fighters.
What do you think about the Pereira cat as a whole? Because I seen who caught him with a one piece. Was it Adesanya?
Adesanya
He caught him.
and he
But
was
he-
hit him with a 3-piece after that.
and-
But he
and-
did him dirty a fight before
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When they fought.
well. So when Izzy knocked out Pereira, it was him playing possum because the fight before he had him on the ropes like that,
Yeah.
and Alex was able to finish him when he was down 3-1 in round 5.
Boom.
But when Izzy knocked him out, he thought he did the same thing again, so he came in guns a-blazing, left his chin
and he
open,
caught him.
and Izzy wound up and caught him
Caught
clean right on the chin with a right, and that was all she wrote, and then used a celebration against him, which is, again, great rivalry, those two. I love it, and they talk trash to each other all
Yeah.
the
So
time.
is Pereira the guy? How does the weight classes go? Is that the heavyweight?
So like, as a light heavyweight fighter,
Light
as a
heavyweight.
face of the UFC,
Yeah.
he might fight in 3 weeks on UFC 301 in Brazil. Wow. At heavyweight.
That soon.
He beat Izzy at 185 to win the middleweight belt. He just defended the 205 light heavyweight title, and now he's thinking about fighting at heavyweight, possibly against Tom Aspinall, don't know for sure, who is the interim heavyweight champion. If he were to win that,
He's
that's
legit.
insanity.
He's
Like
legit.
that's just
He's legit.
that's just crazy.
People,
He's
I
the
heard
guy.
people saying they were trying to find a way to match him up against Bones too. Like,
You think he wants that smoke?
I think
I don't know if Bones wants that smoke out there.
Really?
Dude,
No,
Alex-
don't do that.
What's he been? He's not been living the life of a pro.
Alex isn't scared of anyone. He'll
I'm
fight
not
anyone.
saying that
anytime.
he's scared, but
That guy is the. If you look at him in the weigh-ins with the war paint on and stuff, that guy is one of the
Yeah.
scariest dudes I've ever seen. He fights in Danbury, Connecticut. He fights like an hour and a half away from here. It's crazy. It's so
you think
wild.
you think he can give Jones work?
I think he give him work. Yeah, I don't think Jones is.
What's
like,
his
I
natural
don't think
walking
Bones
around
is
weight?
dedicated. I don't
What is
think
his
he's
Alex-
walking around weight?
225, 230.
Oh, he'll
And he-
still be heavier than Jones then.
No, Jones is big now.
He's up now.
Oh, he's fighting at 265 now, easy. Yeah, he gained all that weight since light heavyweight. But yeah, no. About John Jones, he is one of the smartest fighters I've ever seen.
That's what I think he'll
One
get
of-
him.
He's one of the best fighters I've ever seen.
That's a good point because if you're able to be
Undefeated.
coerced into that knockout by Izzy,
Yeah.
Yeah,
what's Jones's IQ
Jones
level
will do the IQ
do
on
to
him.
you? You know, yeah.
So John Jones did sign an 8-fight deal not long ago, but
He got in trouble again, didn't he?
no,
Did he get in
he's
trouble
actually
again?
he's actually been no
He's been
tore-
being a
he-
good boy.
for as of right now. I mean, I'll knock on wood, but for right now he's been good. But he had an injury that postponed his fight against Stipe Miocic. I know who that's.
That was supposed to be the summertime joint, right?
yeah, yeah.
It was gonna
It was,
be.
well, it was gonna be last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I know he wants to fight him, but I could see him fighting him, winning, and retiring, and just being like, "Look, I'm undefeated. The one loss was a bullshit.
That
That was a
loss was
bullshit
kind of
loss
shaky.
because of the 12-6 elbow, which is nonsense. Because the guy was done already, and
Yeah.
that ref is no longer involved in the UFC anyways. So
What else went down on that card?
Jameson has the deep cut. He knows about the refs.
Did Holly who's
Holly
the
Holm,
chick?
Kayla Harrison.
She looked like she was outmatched in that bout.
I can't believe Kayla Harrison weighed 135 pounds. She looked like 170.
She looked
gigantic.
and she looked chiseled. She didn't look like a sloppy 170
No,
if that's what she
no.
weighed. She looked like a monster.
and I'll say this about Holly Holm. Again, another very smart fighter. Upset Ronda Rousey in one of the craziest upsets in UFC history.
Yeah.
In recent fights, grapples more than strikes these days. She's 42 again, too, so she's older. So I feel like she's trying to fight smarter. So I feel like she wanted to do this again. Problem is, Kayla Harrison's a judo champion.
Yeah.
And you do not want to grapple with people like that because they will fuck you up.
They will do you.
And round one, she got fucked up.
I saw she got. She tapped out.
She tapped out in round 2. Yeah, she was done. She got destroyed round 1, and then by round 2, it was curtains.
I feel like this is off to the left. She has a look on her face. Like a pitiful look. Holly Holm. Like, I don't know. She just always looks sad to me. She just always looks sad.
You're 42 years old and fighting. You're not happy.
And I don't even think she's done. I think she'll fight again. I don't think she wants to end like that.
When was that Rousey fight? Ever since then, she's been losing fights.
It's been hit and miss. But again, like, she's like late 30s. Now 42. Like,
so what's old in UFC in your mind?
It depends on the division. For heavyweight, you can be like prime, like 36 and be good. Like, usually heavyweights don't reach their prime till about 30.
They don't age out.
But then like featherweight, bantamweight, once you're like 35, the cliff hits big time. So
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Why do you think that is?
Speed. Heavyweight, you're not as fast, so you can get away with being older.
Yeah, okay.
And lasting longer. Bantamweight, and especially right now, there are killers at 135. Sean O'Malley with everybody in that division. Corey Sandhagen.
It makes sense now that you're saying
it.
Speed
is the number one reason for that.
Wow. So 301, that should be who's the headliner you think? Is that set up yet? Is that? It is. When is it?
I believe it's May 4th.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
They go back to back with these, man.
Yeah, they try to do one a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dana's not playing
with like some lower cards, like in between. But yeah.
Do we know who's?
So right now it's a fly. That's the issue with 301. It's a flyweight title on the line, and flyweight titles don't generate the same amount of appeal as like a heavyweight, a light heavyweight.
I rock with you on that.
Yeah, so that's the thing, and I'm drawing a blank on the guy who's champion, which is bad.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'll look it up.
Thank you. But for some reason, I'm remembering the number 10 ranked guy that's somehow getting this title shot that probably doesn't deserve it. Steve Ursang. But
what do you think, Dana? That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I look at these bouts and I'm like, why does he have this guy fighting this guy?
Alexander Pantoja.
I have no clue who they are, but
yeah.
What do you think goes on in Dana White's mind when he's setting these fights up?
So here's the issue with 301. He wanted to make sure 300 was a banger
because of the number 300 and the significance of it and things of that nature.
That he was going to shoot first, ask questions later. So make sure 300's legit, and then figure out 301.
Which is understandable. I'm rocking with him on that.
Yeah. So that's why we have a flyweight. That's why that card is kind of it's not great right now. Yeah. Like it's not terrible, but it's not great.
Wow.
So, but if you add Alex Pereira to it against Aspinall at heavyweight, and he's from Brazil,
now that card goes.
Oh my goodness!
It goes through the roof.
Oh wow. Then that gets me excited because I'm like, he fought a fight in 1 and 2 minutes, took no damage. He could feasibly do this, which isn't it's just insane to me. But yeah,
and it's like you said though, the fights are over that quick. He didn't do anything. Like
he didn't have to. One left hook.
Maybe his training might have been worse than that.
Yeah.
If you really want to think about it.
Think about his motivation too. Like that's like the equivalent of like us in the industry picking a shift up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It
like
was a bonus.
You worked a private event that paid out through the ears, right? And now they say, "Hey, you want to work Friday?" You're like, "Yeah."
It's bubble
for 7 figures.
Yeah. How often do you get to add income like that to your life without, you know what I mean, not exerting that much struggle? So.
Okay.
But I think we also have to mention Jamal Hill coming off a torn Achilles 9 months later. Like I got to give him a lot of credit for being able to take that fight, he didn't look great.
Rocking with this guy.
He didn't look great.
Awful to me, man.
I'll say this.
Yeah, but fighting after an Achilles after 9 months, like
don't
that's
take
insane.
the fight. Don't take the
These
fight.
guys, yeah, but I feel like if it goes with what I just said, these guys are looking for their
trying to get
paydays. They don't
paid.
get a whole lot.
I think it was
you
a
know what I mean? Like,
catch-22
I rock with
Yeah.
you.
because they needed a big main event fight for it. They had all the other great fights, but not that like signature main event one.
I rock with you.
And that's where
Yeah,
Jamal Hill came in because they were kind of
Yeah.
running out of options.
I
in a way.
will never hate on somebody trying to get their paper.
Of course.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
What else you got, baby? Is that it?
No.
Come on, baby, come with it then.
I was gonna say, what else do we want to talk about?
UFC.
I mean, I know, no. I know. I'm like, which fight? I'm trying to think of which one to choose.
What else was on there that caught your eye?
Yuri Prohaska, Alexander Rakic was a great fight too.
Yeah.
Yuri Prohaska, that guy's just a samurai,
You're speaking
modern day samurai. He really is.
You're speaking that language to me because I don't know who these guys are. But tell me what happened, baby.
Polish dude that literally takes all this damage but inflicts all this damage, and he fights the most exciting fights. He was actually the one that lost to Pereira. That's how Pereira got the light heavyweight championship.
Oh wow.
So he just fought Rakic, who's just coming back. He hadn't fought in almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Because he in his last fight tore his knee up just stepping wrong, like completely mangled it, and he was kind of getting pieced up a bit, but round 2 he finished him out. You can never count that guy out. Yuri Prohaska just damaged.
Yuri Prohaska.
Prohaska.
I'm gonna have to look him up. I enjoy
Yeah.
that.
The thing that I like the most about UFC as an outside guy, I'm not gonna pretend I'm as knowledgeable as Jameson, but everybody in that realm, they have losses.
Oh yeah.
It's not like boxing where this guy's 34-0, 22. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has won and they have lost. I love that.
The best fight the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like like you don't have that's another thing people hate on Dana White. I love that about him is like he don't care.
Yeah.
You're fighting him and that's it. If you don't want to fight him, get out of here. We'll put somebody else in. There's none of this politicking going on. Nobody I'm trying to protect my record, so I'm gonna fight these bums.
Yeah.
It's
That's
not
unfortunately
happening.
a lot of boxing does that.
Like Mayweather Pacquiao happened
Yeah.
like 10 years too late.
It should have
Yeah. You know
what I
been
mean? Like,
exactly.
If Dana White was running that, they would have
Yeah,
had a
exactly.
3-piece before both of them turned 30. You
And
know,
I'm
like,
gonna go on a limb. If it hasn't happened already, the UFC is gonna surpass boxing. I'm telling you right now. It just is. It just is.
I'll say this about boxing though, they've learned a lot from the UFC. They don't just do like one super fight at the top and all
Yeah.
trash fights below anymore.
Yeah.
Because I watched some boxing.
Yeah, but it's still.
The co-main, even like the 3 or 4 below, those are great fights. A lot of them.
Yeah.
So it depends.
I
Yeah.
think the UFC is gonna surpass them. I can't argue with the money, how that might work out, but I think
Yeah.
as a sport, people are gravitating more towards that because it's more true to how it should be, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I hate to start preaching. I always start preaching. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back on the opposite side, and Ryan's gonna educate us on the NBA playoffs and NFL draft. Come back, Kings, episode 49. Tim Wakefield.
Tim Wakefield.
Tim Wakefield.
Here we go back with Comeback Kings, talking a little NBA. I don't think anybody has said it yet, but get your asses over to the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Help us grow our following and let us do this more often.
He just said.
Definitely.
Stop playing with me.
Stop playing.
Okay.
So speaking of playing, though, we got some games on tonight, right? We got Lakers and Pelicans, and we got Warriors and Kings.
Okay,
So-
what are these games, though? What's the significance?
These are the playing games for the right to have the 7 and 8 seed.
So if you lose, you're not out. It's just to have the seeding.
If you're the Kings or Warriors, if you lose, you're out because you're the 9 and 10 seeds. If you're the 7 and 8 teams, if you lose, you
just have a
play
better seeding.
You play the winner gets the 7th seed, and then
So Kings and Warriors is what? If either one of those teams lose,
they're out
they're out.
because of the lower seeds. And if they win, they play the loser of the Pelicans Lakers. Yeah.
So it's still kind of setting up to where we left off at,
It's
what was that,
looking a little
episode
crispy.
46 or something like that?
Well,
a few weeks ago.
Let me ask you this, and I'm gonna go. The West is looking more interesting than the East right now.
100% agree.
Yeah.
100%.
'Cause you got some dogs out there, man.
And we can also talk about how the fact that Giannis got hurt and won't be 100% might not be ready for the start of the playoffs. Julius Randle for the Knicks is out for the
He's
playoffs.
done. Randall's
Yeah.
is done.
That's
for the
another
year.
one. Embiid just coming back, so he's not 100%. That's why the
Embiid.
76ers are where they are in the
But
standings.
Embiid's my guy.
Yeah.
But go ahead, right? Who else? So Sixers are playing who? Miami.
Miami,
Yeah.
That's not. Is that a play-in?
That's a play-in, yeah. But that's the one where the loser would play.
Just have a lower seeding.
Yeah,
That's for the,
they're
that's
not
for the
out of
7,
it.
8.
Yeah, that's for the 7th seed. The winner gets a 7th seed, and the loser faces the Bulls-Hawks winner for the 8th seed. Wow. Yeah.
What are the Hawks legit?
No.
So it's to me, it's Heat Sixers. Okay.
Although the Hawks have given the Celtics a lot of problems
Yeah.
for some random reason.
Didn't they beat him on like back-to-backs?
With no Trae Young, yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was like near the end of the season.
Yeah, they blew
that's
it.
like that was like the beginning of all of the people jumping on the train that I've been driving of the Celtics being weak mentally. But
Oh, you've been on that?
I digress. I have. Been,
Oh,
yeah.
we actually agree with that. I agree on that.
What
But-
do you mean?
I think the Celtics are the best starting 5 I've ever seen in recent years. Their team is stacked in a starting
I feel like
lineup.
this is coming with a caveat, though. Go ahead.
The problem is I don't trust the head coach. And Joe Mazzulla, Rhode Island native, got to
Jonas.
respect that.
Johnston.
Got to respect it. But I think he was thrown in this situation too soon because of the whole Ime Udoka issue where he was basically
OPPing.
yeah.
Yo, I rock with you 110% what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've
And-
been saying that to people. I go, so are we having this discussion? And I'm beating this like a dead horse. Are we having this discussion if Ime was still the coach?
no shot.
They would have had a chip by now.
They would have won.
You
yeah.
would. I think you would possibly even be talking about dynasty.
We could be. I think they would have had a legit shot of winning last year. There's no way if Udoka never left and was still coaching that team that they lose to the Heat. I just can't see it.
Because
That was kind of a choke job losing to the Heat. Like,
It was. I mean,
had
they
so
were
many
down-
opportunities to close out, to have better games.
Like I'll say, Tatum getting hurt first minute of Game 7 was not
I rock
ideal.
With you on that. I
Yeah,
rock with you on that.
but going down 3-0, very
No, you shouldn't have been
problematic.
in that position to begin with.
But again, a lot of people don't realize why Mazzulla got this job was because of the timing of Udoka getting fired.
They had to put it was insert play.
And all of his assistant coaches had gone other places. All Damon Stoudemire and the guy that went to the Jazz. I forgot it.
Is Missoula not qualified?
I don't want to say he's not qualified. I just don't think he's the. I mean, he can prove me wrong this year by winning the championship, but I think he came in too soon, and I just don't think he's ready. They look great this year in the regular season, but again, as most Celtics fans would say, that's great, but you gotta. It's awesome being great in the regular season. It's time to win a championship. It's time to get it done.
You guys, this is championship. This
Yeah.
town, like New England in general, in
Yeah.
the last 20 years, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Anything less than a chip. Okay, Missoula gets to the Eastern Conference Finals. Does he keep his job?
Oh no, he's not losing his job. I can't see him.
If
Not,
he loses first round, you don't think he loses his job?
I can't see it happening.
You need like another. To me, it's like almost like the same thing when we were talking about. Do you want to see Belichick go? Who are the available replacements that are out there?
Yeah.
You know what I
think
mean? Like
Sam Cassell's
tell me-
right there, licking his
I
chops.
like Sam Cassell, but I think
Sam Cassell.
show me somebody with more reps in the playoffs. Show me somebody who's been there before. Like I'd rather reset with a coach with his own culture than waiting for these guys with their first run at things to get it together. Like at the end of the day, you're running out of time. How much time does Tatum have left on his deal? Brown just re-signed, right?
And they just re-signed Holiday.
So you got this, you got maybe like a 3 or 4 year window where
Yeah.
this core is going to be together,
yeah,
and
and they've been knocked.
they don't
on
owe
wood,
you anything to
injury-free,
re-sign to
yeah.
you. They
They've
don't
been-
owe you anything. They're not from Boston.
Here's the deal. There's a chance is there a chance that they might get the Heat or the Sixers first round? Do you
Yeah,
want
it's
that
possible.
Do you?
Oh, it's-
I'm going out right now. Do you want them first round? Do you want Philly first round? Do you want the Heat first round?
No,
Not
of course
at all.
not.
If I'm not, I could be way off base. There's a chance that could happen.
Chances are, well, whoever wins the Heat 76ers game is going to be the 7th seed, so the Knicks are going to play one of those two teams
the
no
Knicks
matter
will.
what. Well, they're going to play one of them no matter what.
Yeah.
So there's a shot we
So
don't.
who would Celtics get first round?
It would be the loser of the Heat.
Atlanta? Oh no, Heat.
No, they would get the loser of the Heat 76ers game because they would play the winner of the Bulls Hawks, who I don't think would win. But if they somehow did, I'd be okay with that. I would love to play the Bulls and just get an easy sweep.
Yeah, just play the. Because here's another thing that people don't talk about. Even if you win that Sixers series or that Heat series, whatever it is,
Yeah.
you're banging.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that- the next series, you're banged.
Well-
Like you said, if they had the Bulls, they coast through. And I always tell people, you're home chilling if you sweep them.
Yeah.
Say the other series are going on, things of that nature.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I don't know. People don't factor those kind of things in.
And here's the thing, too. The 76ers would never be in this position if Embiid was healthy. They would have been a 2, 3, 4 seed. So that would be very bad luck to have to play them first round.
And B's looking saucy right now.
And as bad as the Heat have looked on and off, we know
Playoff.
how they are in the postseason.
Play
Don't-
off Jimmy.
You know
Playoff
what? You know
Jimmy's
what the
legit.
Celtics love doing in the playoffs? Letting things go to 7 games when they shouldn't.
I'll rock it with
yeah.
you.
Go back to the Paul Pierce, KG, Rondo, Ray Allen days. Like we went to 7 games against Chicago, if
And
I'm
the
not
Hawks.
mistaken, and the Hawks.
You
Like,
have no
Luol
business
Deng's
going to
Bulls,
7 games in some of those
Yeah.
no
series.
business.
It was so crazy, too, because I remember we would dominate at home and lose on the road.
Yeah. But even though you keep it going, man. Like
Yeah.
in all these other runs that we've been on, we've let series come back and bite us instead of closing them out.
Boom.
And
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, why that's a trend, if you will, but they got to get it together. And to your point, do you want to face these guys? Like, yeah, I'd rather go in facing like the stiffest competition, right? Like we're in the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
let's get it going. Like let's see how we stack up. Do you want to waste a 7-game series messing around playing with the Bulls, or do you want to get down to business and like knock off one of like the strongest opponents that's standing there in front of you?
But that's what
like
the key word you're saying, knock them off. I'm saying there's a chance they lose either one of those series.
I'm saying put your Kobe's on and get to work. That's what I'm saying. You know what? I'm not predicting anything. I'm
rock
saying
with you.
what I want to see to happen.
Yeah.
So,
I just prefer to have an easier start because if you're doing a war early, you're just going to be more exhausted at the end, and it could factor in.
that's true.
Like the way the Heat were when they played the Nuggets last year. They were exhausted when
I
they
just
played.
I just think they play too much. If you give them an easy opponent, they're gonna play down to them.
That's true, too.
my
That's
take
true. The
on it.
Celtics are known
give
for
them,
that.
Give,
Yeah.
them, give them the giant
rocking
first.
with you.
Like,
I'm rocking for once. I'm rocking with you on this, man. I'm rocking with you.
but we got to get back over to the Western Conference side.
Yeah,
We started
West
being,
Con-
being,
yeah.
being home dogs over
Well,
here. Like,
yeah.
who's winning between Lakers and Pelicans? Is LeBron getting booted out of the playoffs in a playoff
No.
game?
Did you just
No.
see what they just did to them already Sunday?
Did you just see the discrepancy in free throws that the Lakers have on the season?
No.
So there's
It's
no
not
way that
happening.
it's happening because the refs are going to allow.
Nah, don't be that guy, man. You're gonna be this conspiracy
No,
guy.
I'm not being a conspiracy
Don't do
guy.
that.
I got too many points going on to make. That's what I got going on right now. My ADD is firing off.
Lakers are
And-
gonna beat them.
I would be surprised if the Lakers don't win.
A healthy Lakers team. They smoked them Sunday.
I like little
it was
storylines though.
smoked brisket. It looked awful. At one point, I'm like, turn this game off. I'm like, I'd rather watch the Masters.
Hey,
That's when you know it's bad.
hey, we got storylines in both playing games, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the Anthony Davis trade right now because all the guys on the Pelicans right now are essentially
that was the
who
boatload.
LeBron
Yeah.
decided to ship off and said he wasn't good enough to play with him anymore. So
He be like sneak this.
GM LeBron, yeah.
I do love how LeBron's always needs guys, but then some of the guys that have left like seem to do
You
well
coulda
in other
used them,
spots.
yeah.
Kadavius Caldwell Pope seems to be okay with the
Yeah,
Nuggets
I
doing
rock
all
with you
right.
on
Who's the white dude on the Bulls? I liked him.
Oh, Caruso. He
Yeah.
wishes he had
Caruso.
Caruso
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
that leads me to
Alex
think
Caruso,
that
yeah.
maybe Bron's running the Lakers like the mob. Like if you don't get along with Bron, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of tough. I hope that's not what's going on. I hope not.
I think it's been that way for a little bit, even before the Lakers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
we're
who's
saying
that?
we're saying Lakers are taking that, and
Yeah.
then now you're pretty much at Golden State
I got
versus.
Kings. I'm riding the Kings till the wheels fall off.
So I'll say this: the Kings losing Malik Monk hurts them a lot because that was their
He's
their,
out?
their sixth man. Yeah, so that hurts them a ton. Wow.
They still got the big Sabonis, right?
Yeah. They still have
So
Sabonis,
we'll be
who's
all
like the
right. We'll
most.
be all right. Who's
I
the
feel like
other
he's the
guy?
most underrated player in the
He's
NBA.
the
That
guy.
guy gets like 28 points, 14
Yeah,
rebounds,
I
5
like-
assists. People are
I
like,
like
whatever.
Sabonis.
Yeah, he's so good. And then De'Aaron Fox is excellent.
Fox.
Yeah.
Fox News.
But
Let's go, baby.
but we have to remember too, they played each other recently in the playoffs where the Warriors beat them in a 7-game
did.
series.
They did.
I think that was last year.
But is this Warriors team?
It's hard to
somebody
it's hard
let
to
me
know
hear
what they
something.
are. They've been hot lately.
Yeah.
Let
They've
me
been
hear
very
something.
hot lately.
Is
Are
it
you
ki-
threatened by them?
Are
though?
they the Heat of the Western Conference? Can they just turn it on when it comes time for playoffs? You know what I mean? Like,
I had a friend ask me today. He's like plus 6,500 Warriors to win the title. Do you think that's a good bet? And I'm like, those are crazy odds. But I'm like, you never know. What if they beat the Kings?
And they get hot.
They sneak in at the 8 seed and they face the Thunder, which is actually a good matchup for them because the Thunder have one big man, Chet Holmgren, and the Warriors, obviously, as we know, have shooters, don't have size. That's a good matchup for them. I'm not saying they would beat the Thunder, but I'm saying it would be a closer series than people
Yeah,
would realize.
I'm rocking with you.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can sleep on like the experience that they have and like the heart that they have. You know,
Yeah.
like they're gonna make some noise. I think.
They're playoff proven. They're playoff tested. They're championship.
So I
Four
keep
champions.
saying this: if out of this Kings Warriors series, if either one of them loses, they're out.
They're out. Yeah.
They're going home.
Yeah.
And that's tonight.
Tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could potentially sit on your couch and see the end of the Warriors tonight.
That's
Yeah.
my. So that
crazy.
exactly perfect segue.
Yeah.
Are you blowing that squad up now?
It's a very difficult question because do you want to be
What is difficult about that?
do you want to be the Celtics at the end of the Bird run or do you want to be the Celtics at the end of the KG run?
I'm rocking with you. All right.
Because
I didn't look at it like that.
at the end of the Bird run, they let them all play out their careers there, and they weren't the same for a long time.
Yeah.
The KG one, they made a great trade to get rid of Pierce and KG for
they got
a
a lot
for
of-
unprotected lottery
rocking with
picks
you.
that worked out to
And
get
they got-
Tatum and Brown.
Yeah, they got like 5 years worth of picks and pick swaps from Brooklyn.
Thank you, Mikhail Prokhorov.
Yeah.
I hope you're doing well in
Yeah.
Russia.
And people hated on Danny Ainge. He was
Trader
the one that
Danny. I
he
love Trader
orchestrated
Danny.
this.
Yup.
Love
That
Trader
was the
Danny.
big.
And they
that's
sent
the
him
thing that gave him the
packing.
nickname.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Danny
back-
Ainge also made a great move in the Tatum draft,
Yeah.
right? Didn't he trade? He trades the
Ainge-
first overall pick
Ainge
to
was
your
making moves.
Sixers.
He was making sneaky
Moved down
moves.
to 3 because they were obsessed with Markel Fultz, even though he was a shooter and
He was
nothing
awful
else.
in the NBA.
But the problem was he got the yips and then couldn't shoot. Yeah.
So back to the original. Are you breaking that squad up?
I just don't know how you do it for fair market value.
Yeah, like
You
I think
waited
that
too
everybody's
long.
contract is too
Yeah.
inflated for you to
Because
get.
You waited too
Draymond Green's
long.
getting paid a ton. I mean, anyone would want Steph. Like, I think you could trade him to the Hornets if you wanted to for like,
Steph. Okay, let's be honest. Steph's not going anywhere
unless he wants to.
unless he wants to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a valid point.
Clay, Draymond,
Clay could
whoever-
be gone. Clay could be
everybody's
gone.
up for the negotiations besides Steph Curry.
I could see Clay
In
being
my
gone.
eyes.
I can too.
Yeah, that's the one that could be gone because he's making a lot of money being not. I wouldn't say role player, but he's come off the bench a lot this year. He's not starting like he used to. Podemski is a younger rookie guy that's been very good for them. He's been playing a lot more. So
Don't you feel like Clay's presence on the floor and his ability to pick up the other guard also helped like Steph's game so much.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like he wasn't expending all that effort, which allowed him to just. You ever see how much Steph Curry runs the floor on offense?
yeah.
He never like. I've watched a diagram. It looks like somebody just scribbled. You know what I mean? He never stops.
He's all over the place.
And if he had to be playing harder on defense, I think Clay, you know what I mean? The two of them together are very. It should go with saying that they were blessed to be drafted with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but Clay's reached that point to where your output is not justifying the amount of cap space that you're taking up, And I just don't see a 3 first rounds and a 2 pick swap deal for like that package of Warriors players.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, say some team has
It's too long. It's too late.
take the Lakers maybe. Maybe LeBron says, I want to shake things up. You know, you take a team that has another
Yeah.
superstar that's on his way out, and you're going to take LeBron and then the pieces of the Warriors and put them together. Would an owner pay 2 seasons of luxury tax to see if that works to finally get you over the hump for a chip? Like, I think that's the only way that something like that happens. And the Lakers don't have the draft capital to pull something like that off to make the Warriors
So you're
happy.
bringing this Warriors squad
It's basically a salary.
back
It's going to be a
again?
salary dump. It's going to be a salary
exactly
dump
what
and
it
a
is.
tank down to the
You
bottom
gotta
if that's what you do.
You're taking the hit with
Or
this.
you run it back
So yeah, you either trade for expiring contracts, go
Yup.
back down into the lottery, or
and try to build in free agency.
yeah. The thing with the NBA, you either want to be the worst team or you want to be the best team. Being in the middle is the worst place to be,
Yeah.
especially in the NBA.
All right, so we're getting a little carried away. Who you got winning? Kings or Warriors? Because I said mine. I said Kings.
I got the Warriors.
That's a tough one for me, man. I feel like I want to say Warriors with my heart, but I feel like it's over. Like, I really do feel like it's over with this team.
We've seen the best.
Like, what benefit does it have for any of them to put more miles on their bodies? You know what I mean? Like, all it's gonna do is, man, that's a tough one. I don't know. I'm taking the Warriors. I don't care, man. I'm going
You're
with them.
going out on
I'm
your
going
shield.
with my heart. Yeah.
Hypothetically, if they were to somehow win a title this year, what a capper to a dynasty that
Yeah, I
would
don't want to
be.
hear about the LeBron era anymore if they get another one. Like, LeBron was playing in the Steph era. How about that?
Nah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
do that.
Are
Don't
bu-
do
do
that.
bubble
Don't do-
do bubble championships count?
Yeah.
Nah, don't do Bron like that. Don't do Bron
No,
like
I've been
that.
coming around. In our time when we first started hanging out, I feel like I was all Bron hate, and now I got love for LeBron.
Don't do Bron like that, baby.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah. So who's the other two? Who you got out of Sixers Heat? Who you got?
Sixers.
Who you got?
I guess I'm going with all of my heart on this one. I'm not betting against Jimmy Butler either.
Jimmy
so
Butler.
yeah.
I got Sixers. Who's the other game?
So with Embiid back, I got to go Sixers. So that means it would be the Bulls Hawks.
Who you got in that one? Is Trey
Who
Young
cares?
playing?
They're losing.
Yeah,
The
they're losing to whoever they play against.
Well,
the Heat.
does it? We still got to pick them.
This is what makes me laugh in a way. I do think the Hawks would win that game against the Bulls.
I'm going with Hawks.
And then the Hawks would play the Heat, and the Heat would probably win. And guess who's the 8th seed? The Hawks. And guess who's the 1 seed? The Celtics. And that's who we would play, probably.
And the Hawks give the Celtics problems.
No, the Heat. The Heat would give the Celtics problems. Because I think the
but
Heat.
the Hawks during the regular season gave
Oh,
the
yeah,
Celtics
yeah.
work.
Yeah, so no matter what, I think it's kind of
They're
like a
jammed
weird
up in
matchup no
that
matter
deal.
what. Yeah. The Hawks I worry about less though. They can't beat us in a 7-game series. The Heat obviously have proven they
all
could.
with my heart today, I'm going with the Bulls. my childhood team.
You gotta talk to this guy because he likes to skip around with his teams all over the place.
Yeah, not so much in basketball though.
In football.
Really? Are you a Celtics or Heat guy? Are you a Celtics or a Bulls guy?
Celtics. But I grew up idolizing Jordan. You know what I mean? I don't have any. There's no pictures of me when I'm a kid wearing Celtics green. It's all black and red
Jordan.
everywhere. Yeah, so
Like,
I can't.
like-
Hey, I still pick like if I'm watching a random basketball game, I'm still gonna root for the Bulls. You know what I mean? It's just like that.
All right. So you heard it here live. We're gonna take another quick break, and James is gonna come back and school us on the NFL draft.
All
His
right.
predictions. Come back, Kings 49. Tim Wakefield's in the building.
I think it's that time. I think we gotta talk some NFL draft. Patriots at 3.
When's the draft?
That
weeks?
is
a week, 2 weeks.
It is in 2 weeks. I believe it's April 20. What's the date today?
16th or 16th.
Dude, this has like the longest running media coverage. It's
Oh
unbelievable.
my God,
Like,
it's
they've been
crazy.
talking about it for like 3 months already.
I think it's in
let's
1
go.
week. I think it's in 1 week.
All right, that's a little
I think
better
it's
then.
next
It's usually
week.
at the end of April,
Yeah.
no? Or
Yeah.
okay.
I
But
think
go
it's.
ahead.
I think it's the following Thursday.
Let me hear something. You're a
Pa-
Patriots guy.
A huge Patriots fan. I'm going to some games this year. I'm excited.
Boom.
They have the number 3 pick. They haven't had a pick this high since they drafted Gerard Mayo back in 2008, who's now the new head coach. You can go full circle there for a second.
So this guy knows his stuff. Okay.
How did educate me on how they acquired that pick?
I forgot how they did it. It was the 10th pick, I believe.
Okay, so it wasn't that. All right.
No, it wasn't like yeah. But Gerard Mayo out of Tennessee. I remember watching a little bit of him in college. Very good linebacker, as we know. Did pretty well with the Patriots. Basically, they called him Gerard Belichick for how he acted.
Oh wow.
And how he handled himself under Belichick all those years, and now he's gotten this job. But now, let's see how Belichick he really is. Is he going to do the usual trade down, get more picks? Because the Patriots have a ton of needs.
Yeah.
Left tackle, quarterback, you name it. There's a lot of spots. Wide receiver.
Okay, you're the guy right now, right? What are you doing with that 3rd pick? You personally, not what you think they're gonna do. What you would do?
People are going to hate what I'm going to say.
No, who cares? That's
Does
how
it-
we rock.
Before you say anything, does what Chicago and Washington do in front of you affect what you're about to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
ahead.
if they don't... Okay, so let's just assume Caleb Williams goes 1.
One, Jaden
And-
I think
Daniels.
and
two,
Jane-
two is the real.
And Jane Daniels goes 2. That's what...
I think that's what's gonna
Let's
happen.
just assume that's
Okay.
1-2.
Boom. What do you do at 3?
I don't trust Drake May. I'll just say I've been on the
I've
record.
been saying.
I don't trust him at all.
I've been saying this.
And even if you do draft him, you can't start him right away. He's not ready to be an NFL starter. You'd
not
at least have to
NFL
wait a
ready.
year.
I don't even necessarily trust first round quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like over the last 10 years, it's feast or famine. So
So I'll give a quick stat before I say what I think the Patriots should do.
no, what you're gonna do?
Before I
was
say
the
what
guy-
I would do as the Patriots GM with the
Yes.
3rd pick. Quarterbacks, very hard to hit, as we can see over the years. And a lot of that has to do with how much they play in college, if you've noticed. Quarterbacks that play under 30 games do not have a very high success rate in succeeding in the NFL. So you really want a guy that's played there 3 or 4 years. Unfortunately, a lot of quarterbacks want to declare as soon as possible
Yeah, they
so they
wanna
can
come
get
out.
paid and then
Yeah.
they're good. So it's like a catch-22. But that's why Brock Purdy, obviously in a great situation in San Francisco,
Yeah.
but he was all 4 years in college, very successful, and he does the job. He's very smart. Doesn't make a ton of mistakes.
It might be different. It might. I'm not even meaning to cut you off. It's gonna probably be different now with this NIL stuff going on, though.
That's true too.
You understand what I'm saying?
So
But go ahead,
you're getting
continue.
paid. So that's why I think Michael Penix. I'm a big Michael Penix
You
guy.
like Penix?
I love Michael Penix, and he started off slow in Illinois.
I don't know if I could rock with him.
So I'll just give a quick thing on Michael Penix. Michael Penix, as we saw at Washington, lost in the national championship game to Michigan. But before that was with Illinois. Wasn't very successful. Was a terrible team. Had some injuries.
Injuries. He had
Yeah.
a couple.
Yeah, he had a couple. He's 24. He's older, so that's the other thing. But he's got a lot of reps. He's played. He's been through the system, and now he's with Washington. And you can argue he's got 2 of the top receivers, with Rome Odunze going top
Yeah.
10 in this draft, and with a great offensive line. However, I watch a lot of him. That guy is one of the most accurate quarterbacks I've seen in college in a long
Precision.
time.
Yeah.
And he can throw it deep with accuracy. If I were the Patriots, I would trade down, maybe with the Vikings if you wanted to do the 11-23 thing.
Yeah.
Take best available at 11, whether it's like whether it's a wide receiver, whether a Joe Alt or one of the tackles falls to 11 somehow if you want to do that. And then see about Penix at 23 and then roll from there.
Is Penix still there at 23?
So I've had a lot of talks with people saying that he's a 2nd-round quarterback, and I'm like, you guys are nuts. You don't understand. Once all the quarterbacks go, people start freaking out.
Yeah.
They start trading
They
up.
start to get their guy.
They want the guy.
Yeah.
So I could honestly, I think 20s is where he's probably going to go.
Yeah. I think all of these top quarterbacks are going to go in that first round.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The
I
top
don't think
six-
I don't know if Bo Nix will, but
This is what I'm saying. I like Bo Nix out of these guys.
yeah.
Because of the same reason what you're
Yeah.
saying with Penix. He's battle tested.
He is, he
People
is.
forget about his Auburn years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
People
then
forget about
oh,
that.
yeah. And then people forget about Penix at Illinois.
Yeah.
And then he went to Oregon, Bo Nix, and
Yeah, these guys are
His thing.
battle tested. If anything, those two guys are more ready to me than these other guys, in my eyes.
I think it helps a ton too when you fail and then work yourself all the way back to
You got a
succeed.
chip on your shoulder.
That's a huge deal.
That's
like-
Brady all day.
That's Jordan. That's all.
Jordan, that's all these guys.
All the top.
Yeah,
ones.
you always hear those stories, man.
Yeah. So I love Penix personally. Like, what I think is probably going to happen is they probably take Drake May. Wow. But if I were them, I would trade down because they just have too many needs at too many positions, and I don't trust Drake May. Like, size wise, he's built like the perfect quarterback you would want, and he got some decent speed. But he's just one of those guys. I just don't.
If they
I don't
take
trust
Drake
him.
May, what week are they? You're gonna see Mayo hung up by the rafters somewhere. They're gonna hang him. Week 5, week 6.
I could see Patriots fans actually being patient right now, a little bit.
Really?
More than usual because they understand the team's terrible. They just saw this past year, and they understand Jacoby Brissett's going to probably be starting.
You're not even making sense. Patriot fans and understanding do not go in the same sentence.
But they
I'm
just-
sorry.
They've been having to take a harsh dose of reality
But-
lately, my man.
They just this past season's going to help with that a lot because of how
One
bad
season,
they were.
you think they're gonna be compassionate?
Not compassionate, but I think they're going to understand that it takes time. Like, Brady isn't. Brady probably isn't walking through that door.
That's
So,
another topic we
yeah.
could get into.
But
Yo, this is here's my take on it.
Yes,
right?
let's hear it.
Robert Kraft, he's getting killed now.
rightfully so.
Right? He hates getting killed. He wants to be the golden boy. He wants to be Boston's favorite owner, right? Everybody, the curtain has been pulled back. You're a cheap owner, Robert Kraft. You don't want to spend no money. You've been letting Belichick take the heat, acting like he's got the tight pockets this whole time. Maybe it was the two of you guys on the operation like this,
Commiserating.
but you didn't spend any money in free agency. You still got the most cap space in the league. You're not doing nothing. You're a bum, broke, cheap owner, and the fans are getting impatient. But I've been sick of this team since you gave Cam Newton a job.
Oh.
That's why I went with Brady to Tampa. That's why I got a Rob Gronkowski Tampa Bay jersey
do that.
because I wanted to rock with winners, not people who are complacent being 8-8. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
like,
you gotta rock with your team, man.
get out. No.
Yo, talk
No.
to this guy.
No, he
Listen,
brings up. All right, go ahead.
I'm deterring. I've been pissed at the Patriots since it came out that they tried to trade Gronk for a second rounder to Detroit. That's ridiculous that was even a thought that even got that close out there. But anyway, if I'm the Patriots, I'm taking my guy at number 3.
Who?
You know who I'm taking. I'm taking the best wide receiver on the market.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking him at 3, and then I'm going and I'm doing what the Cleveland Browns did unsuccessfully when they took the best skill position player in the draft at 4 at a running back, which was skeptical, and then they traded back up into the first round and took Brandon Weeden at the end of it.
So,
All right,
Who was like
So
28 years old?
he was, but he had the experience
He
that
did
you're
have the
talking about. So
experience, he did.
theoretically, they took the skill position
Yeah.
player, and then they went back and they took the quarterback. And to me, I'm like, what do you got to trade to get back into the first round? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's going to cost you next year's first rounder.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
maybe not. Maybe next year's second rounder. Maybe
Yeah.
they have an extra draft picks. I don't know. But to me, I'm taking the best skill position player at 3, and then I'm trading back in and going to get a quarterback in the 20s.
Okay.
Or wherever they fall down. So we
What-
have similar opinions on this,
What
but
do
I'm
you
not
think they're gonna do?
I'm not sacrificing the rights to Marvin Harrison Jr. to pick up like a tackle and then get the quarterback later. Like I'm taking the skill position
The best player on the
knowing that
board.
I'm going back in to get a quarterback, and I got those two guys together right away. Like,
what do you
that-
think they're gonna do, though?
I think they're going to trade down and make everybody be like Mo from The Simpsons, being like, "Not today, old friend." Like, I don't know. I don't know what.
Okay, yeah, in this draft, Penix is the guy for you overall.
Well,
I mess with Penix too.
No, I'm saying all bets off. Say like Chicago doesn't take Williams or Washington doesn't take. Who's the guy in this draft to you?
Oh, Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in this draft.
think so?
Yeah. You got to ignore all the off the field stuff, but skill wise, intangibles wise, he is the guy.
You think he's gonna make that leap to the NFL?
I do. I think he's a pro-ready system. Lincoln Riley develops quarterbacks very well. And he's set up well in Chicago with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore.
So this was a no-brainer getting rid of Justin Fields.
Yes, because you got to look at it like this. How long are you going to rock with Justin Fields? This is the final year on his rookie deal. So what if he's really good? You got to pay him $200 million?
So you're saying from a financial standpoint, they made a smart move.
Yeah. Plus, I think Caleb Williams will be the better quarterback than Justin Fields long term.
They ran out of time on Justin Fields.
Justin Fields took too long.
Wow.
Yeah.
So nobody's talking about the Commanders in any of this with the Jaden Daniels cat.
Because a lot of players that go to Washington, I just think that's
So
a
they go
cursed
to
franchise. I think it's a cursed franchise in a way.
Well, I don't think. Well, since they got rid of the owner, I think they're looking at it, and I think they're starting to make their way. I could be wrong.
Take
that owner
Tom
was
Brady's name
Snyder.
off the list.
What do you mean?
Take Tom Brady's name off the list.
Okay.
And tell me all the quarterbacks who have ever played for Chicago, Washington, and the New England Patriots. It is not a mix of Pro Bowl, All-Star caliber, anything. Like, there's three franchises that are like historically doomed if you're a quarterback going to them.
You think the Commanders are?
Traditionally, yeah. Like, who have they had? Even the one championship that they have, the quarter, who was it? Doug
Williams.
Yeah, like he's constantly on the list of like game checkers that made it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he had like that one flash in the pan.
like,
that was it.
He threw 100 touchdowns in his whole career, Doug Williams.
That was it.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they had Joe Theismann won one and then forgot someone else won one. Because Washington has won 3, but they were like...
Who's after the Patriots in the draft?
Arizona.
So they're the ones that's taking Harrison, I'm hearing.
If Harrison's at 4 and they don't trade down, he is 1,000%
Who's at 5? The Giants?
The Chargers.
Chargers at 5.
And the Giants at 6.
They're trading that. I heard they're trading that to Minnesota. I could be wrong. The Chargers are trading that
possible.
to Minnesota.
I mean, Chargers got a whole reset happening.
Yeah.
You know, does Harbaugh even like Justin Herbert?
He should.
That's
No,
like a crazy thing that could happen. Like,
should.
does he
That's
get
what I'm
moved
saying.
on trade?
I think he is rocking with Herbert for now.
Yeah,
I mean, why?
Herbert's a great quarterback.
Why would you take the job if you didn't
Yeah.
mess with him? You know,
So
he's under contract for a
rocking
while.
with Herbert, so that's playing a role into them trading that pick with Minnesota.
Real quick, what are our thoughts on Herbert?
I think he's the guy. No?
I think he's the guy.
Why would you get rid of?
You wouldn't.
They
That
got
coach
rid-
was so
No,
bad.
I'm
for
saying
them.
they got rid of one of the top receivers or something, right?
They left him with nothing.
They left him butt naked.
Nothing.
As much as I love Austin Eckler too, you've never had a real running game as long as he's been there. So it's been
Yeah.
a one-dimensional offense where he's had to be on his back, and then he's had a bottom 5 defense somehow with all the talent on that defense for the last 3 years.
And you're also in
With Brandon Staley, thankfully he's gone.
that division. Who is it? Chiefs. You got to deal with them every year.
Yep.
Yep. And the Broncos are
Playing
only getting better.
Playing Patrick Mahomes twice a year.
Broncos are only getting better.
Younger in his career, the Broncos had a killer secondary, so you're playing that twice.
So
Yeah.
this is it then. They have to within the next 2 years. That Chargers team, in my eyes.
The Chargers will be a playoff team in 2 years.
Yeah, when did they give Herbert his money?
I think it was 2
Last
years
year or
ago.
2 years ago.
It
Yeah,
was a 5-year deal, so
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
They got 3 years left with the guy,
Yeah.
so
it's true.
Wow.
But I think he's the guy, and I think they got to roll with him. So they're not in the market for a quarterback. So trading back makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you're not trading. You're not getting rid of that guy.
And the wide receiver class is loaded in the
I'm
draft
hopping
this year.
around. Who has the? Is it Giants?
Giants.
That has the 6th pick.
Yeah,
Who are they taking? Are they taking the neighbor's cat?
it makes a lot of sense. They need a skill. They need a
Ron
wide
Harrison.
receiver. Yeah,
Where's the kid-
Wait,
where's the kid from Washington
Minnesota.
Roman Duze's right in that
No,
mix too.
Yeah.
Minnesota's gonna take a quarterback
Yeah.
because they just got rid of Kirk Cousins,
they're
right?
they're at 11 though, so they're not really
No,
in the means to
but-
dictate.
No, they're trading with their
But they could trade
Chargers
up.
are gonna get that pick.
Just, I mean, if the Patriots don't trade, you're looking at Minnesota trading with Arizona, or you're looking at Minnesota trading with
They're trading with the
Chargers or the
Chargers.
Giants.
The Minnesota's gonna trade with the Chargers. if Minnesota gets that pick, they're taking a quarterback.
But that's why the Vikings traded with the Texans before to get the 11 and 23 ready, so they could move up if they had to. That's they set this up to do this.
A lot of people have said too that Minnesota's like quarterback room is like primed to whoever gets drafted by Minnesota is gonna have a successful career.
Who's the receiver there? That guy. Who's the guy?
Justin
Justin
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
The guy.
He's another guy that could get traded on draft day.
Really?
You just left. You think he wants to be on a team with a
I'll
rookie
rock with you.
quarterback?
Yeah,
Like,
butt naked.
If they pay him $30 million or $32 million a year, I think
he'll hang
I don't
out.
think he'll have any qualms with that.
I mean, I think I
out.
saw. Was Burrow his collegiate quarterback? Did he go to LSU?
He did.
I feel like I saw something, some
Yeah.
theoretical
Yeah.
trade where since
That
he ponied
receiving
up a
class,
bunch of
it was stupid. It was him and the Chase cat.
yeah.
They were both on that squad with Joe Busy.
Yeah. Pretty good.
That's crazy. What else you got for the draft, baby? Anything else? Who else? Who else? I'm trying to think.
I mean, I think that as the trades always happen, and they're like always like the most like I remember even back like the one I remember the most was when the Julio Jones trade happened when Atlanta moved all the way up to do that. You're like, what are they doing?
For a
dude?
lot
Like,
of picks.
yeah, so there's gonna be something where
Did you feel that worked out for them though?
They didn't win a Super Bowl, so I'll say no. And
Nah, Julio was nice for them though.
But I mean, it's in what way?
did the draft capital that they gave up equate the move? Like I think you got to go and look at the players that got selected with those picks.
See, when you make a trade like that, you assume like you got to win Super Bowls with a trade like that, and they didn't. So I want to lean no on that question.
Well,
so
they
that's how
should have won that Super Bowl.
I want to say that
should have
They
said
ran into the goat.
when all they had to do was run it. They lost that Super Bowl because of terrible clock management.
Kyle
All they had to do was
Shanahan,
run
baby.
the ball.
We
Yeah,
could,
like,
I'm gonna be honest. We could spend 3 or 4 podcasts just talking about that game alone.
yeah.
crazy
It's
game.
disgusting what went down.
It's an amazing game.
You had
Especially
them dead to right.
The Julio catch that happens on the drive before the Edelman catch.
Yeah.
Like,
Insane
gets
catch. Insane.
Nobody
forgotten
talks
about
about
in
that.
history. Yeah.
Nobody
I still
talks
remember
about
it.
that because what transpired after.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
forget all of that intricate stuff. They were beating the break. Like, who was the running back? He was nasty for Atlanta that year. Freeman.
Devonta Freeman and they
He
had
was
another
giving
guy.
the Patriots
Yeah.
work in that game.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy?
And
Oh my
nobody's
God.
talking about this. That game had so many facets, but the reason it gets overlooked because Patriots, Brady did.
James White had like one
James
of the best
White, bro.
games I've ever seen in a Super Bowl.
I
for
think
a
that
running
he's
back.
got the record for most points scored in the Super Bowl.
He had like
He's
12
got
catches,
touchdowns and the 2-point conversions, and
Yeah.
there's a scene. I think it's on. It might be on like the NFL films, like Super Bowl or something.
Yeah.
But either I think it's Edelman runs up to him and hugs him, and he's like, "Did you just win Super Bowl MVP?" And like he thought that it was White. You know what I mean? He ends up winning it that game.
Yeah.
Like, but
That's
he thought that
crazy.
White, in real time, in real
Yeah.
motion, he runs up to him in a celebratory manner, like he's the one that should have won it.
Oh, yeah.
Like. And if you look at it, maybe he should have. He scored all the points. He made the 2-point conversions happen. Like,
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Like so many players were involved in that. Dante Hightower was
yeah,
huge. in that
Hightower
game.
gets overlooked in the Patriots dynasties
Oh my
big
God!
time.
Stop the tackle.
Yeah,
and the
the
Seahawks
shoestring
won.
tackle on Marshall, and nobody talks
The
about
sack
that.
fumble on the Falcons. Dante Hightower, love.
We're getting carried. We're
Is
getting,
Jameson my favorite guest ever?
we're getting carried away. Reminiscing. But let me. We'll end it out on this. In recent years, is this one of the best draft classes you've seen in a while?
Oh man, it could be.
It really could be. They said that about 2021 though, and it turned out to not be that
No,
great.
exactly. You can argue that in retrospect, but the names that are coming off the board in this
Yeah.
draft.
I mean,
You just said Penix, and you're saying he might not go into a win, and I think he's legit.
I think he'll be in the first round somewhere.
That's
do.
my point.
Yeah, I do.
Especially quarterbacks and the receivers. Whew.
I think Marvin Harrison, like just not even just because of his dad, how successful he was, but
Yeah, he's different.
what he's 6'4". He's like the perfect receiver build. He has no weaknesses.
Yeah.
There's a few scouts that say he's like the most perfect receiver that they've ever scouted. That's why I'm so like, what are we doing? What are we even talking about? Just go get him.
This
You
draft.
get 5 years of control over a generational wide receiver, or you want to take a coin flip on a quarterback.
Yeah.
If I'm going to take a coin flip on a quarterback, can I do it at 22 instead of 3?
At least you can still say you got Harrison in the chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm rocking with you on that. But I'm gonna say this for me personally. This is the most anticipated I've been for a draft in a long time. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. I honestly want to sit down and see what happens. Normally the draft comes, I'm like, okay, 1, 2, and 3. This is like the first 10 to 15 picks. I want to know what's going on. This hasn't been like this for me personally in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
I'm actually nervous.
I-
I'm nervous
yeah.
what they're gonna do.
I'm like, who's gonna do what, and who's gonna? I'm being honest. I'm only being honest. But I want to thank you, Cats, man. I appreciate you for coming out, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
And,
appreciate you
awesome.
putting this all together, Coop. This is all you,
Ryan,
man.
you know the deal. You guys are always welcome. You guys gotta let me know, cause I'm always available Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday, day and night.
Yeah.
Mondays, day and night. Even if you guys want to jump in on like a Thursday, those are the days I have off. Let me know, because if I don't hear from you, I'm not gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But I appreciate you. Thank you, Jamison, man, for your knowledge, man.
Yeah, glad to come through. Glad I could help.
what I'm
This
saying?
podcast is awesome. Had a lot of fun with it.
What you got planned for the rest of the day? Going to
Actually,
work?
I'm going straight to the gym after this.
Okay.
My man.
Yeah.
What you doing, Ryan?
I got some loose ends to tie up. You know what I mean?
So you
approaching
spend-
my first day off of the week. You know
You
what I
spend
mean?
your day off just still running. No?
Nah, sometimes usually like I said, I had that extra heavy work week this week that I alternate in between. So usually like this Tuesday I'll be knocked out, but I just got too much stuff I got to take care of. So
Yeah. Well, episode 49,
Tim Wakefield.
Tim Wakefield. Like, share, and subscribe, like my man said.
yeah,
Let's go.
We're gonna do it on the rebound. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.